Hi guys, it's Hani with the Strength Athlete. I'm doing my first video here. It's going to be pretty much on the importance of having a consistent setup pattern with your lifts and being able to establish a ritual that you follow before them. I think ritual is the best word for it. And basically, this is kind of a vague subject, a little difficult to explain. And, I'm going to get into some videos of both Bryce and myself because I think that's going to be a good way to give some clear understanding. But basically, I kind of laid out three things that I would mostly like to be the basis of the idea we've got going here. The first of which is going to be that there is absolutely no right way to do this, much like every squatter is different. If you look at top end squatters from all across the world, everybody looks a little bit different and nobody's exactly the same. The second being that consistency in how you yourself do it is going to be the key in terms of being able to make this a useful ritual for you. If it's different every time, it doesn't do you any good at all. The third of which is that in that consistency, you have to train yourself to kind of execute a series of mental cues. And over time, as you repeat it and you do it again and again, it becomes something that's going to be somewhat subconscious, or absolutely subconscious, actually, if you look at someone like Bryce. And these things definitely improve your ability to execute your lifts with what could be considered form perfection. So we'll start with one of Bryce's competition setups from roughly 3 years ago.
You got this. Whoa! Go! You got it straightened! Lock it!
And now we have myself doing a squat setup.
Yep.
And now a look at Bryce's deadlift last May, so basically a 2-year difference between the other video. And lastly, a competition video of myself.
You got it.
What?
Up, easy.
So in watching all of that, there are a couple things I'd like you to observe. We'll start with Bryce. From his 2 lifts, even with a 2-year difference, which he has become a much more advanced lifter over that amount of time, he basically takes the same amount of time, has the same angle on his body, and has the same initial pulling position for all of those lifts. So it makes it significantly easier for him to repeat the way he is doing that lift and execute it in a way that he finds desirable. More towards myself, I'll give an example of what actually kind of goes through my head, because I have basically a set of steps that I follow every time I'm performing a squat. The first of which is what I call centering myself. You'll see I grab the bar, I lean back, I take a few deep breaths, I make sure I am mentally ready to go for this rep or for this particular set. The second of which, my hands need to be in the correct position, and I position myself under the bar, and I take one big solid breath, breathe it into my gut, push it against my belt, unrack the weight, walk it out, 2 steps, get myself set. I don't need to fiddle around with my feet, play around, waste a bunch of energy sitting there under the weight. Just get it taken care of, get yourself ready to go. The third, I breathe out that initial breath, take one more deep breath, feel myself locked into the ground, and I execute the lift. Just those 3 steps every time. It seems like a lot. It seems like a lot of things need to be going through your mind to do that, but you can shorten all of those into like 2-word phrases that you can run through your mind every time you set up. And in doing so, it'll make it a lot easier for you to replicate each and every lift that you execute. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I just want to take a minute, address this subject. I think it's something important that needs to be a little more of a large focus for beginning to intermediate lifters. So let's see if we can make that better for everyone. All right, guys. Thanks.